Dussala, the only daughter of Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, was often overshadowed by her 99 brothers, the Kauravas, and their fierce rivalry with the Pandavas. While her brothers' lives were consumed by the Kurukshetra war and its tragic consequences, Dussala's story is one of survival, grace, and resilience amidst the chaos of a warring family. Dussala was born into the royal family of Hastinapura, the youngest sibling in a large and powerful household. She was loved and protected by her brothers, especially by her eldest brother, Duryodhana. However, unlike her brothers, who were embroiled in the epic struggle for the throne, Dussala's life took a different course. When she came of age, Dussala was married to Jayadratha, the king of Sindhu, modern-day Sindh. Her marriage was arranged as a political alliance to strengthen ties between Hastinapura and Sindhu. Though she loved her family deeply, she had to leave the comfort of her home to live with her husband in his kingdom. Jayadratha, though a powerful king, was a flawed man who would later become infamous for his role in the Mahabharata war. One of the key moments that brought Jayadratha into the spotlight occurred when he attempted to abduct Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas. During the Pandavas' exile in the forest, Jayadratha, inflamed by lust and arrogance, saw Draupadi and decided to kidnap her. He succeeded in taking her away, but his actions quickly brought the wrath of the Pandavas. Bhima and Arjuna, infuriated by this outrage, pursued Jayadratha, overpowered him, and humiliated him for his audacity. Draupadi was rescued unharmed. When Dussala heard about her husband's misdeed, she was deeply shamed and humiliated. She had always respected Draupadi and felt ashamed that her own husband had committed such an act of dishonor. Despite her loyalty to Jayadratha, Dussala was torn between her sense of right and wrong, and she wished that her family would avoid further conflict with the Pandavas. As the Mahabharata war approached, Jayadratha became a key ally of Duryodhana and the Kauravas. Dussala, like her mother Gandhari, feared the war would bring nothing but destruction to her family. Her worst fears were realized during the war. Jayadratha played a significant role in blocking the Pandavas during the 13th day of the battle, leading to the death of Arjuna's son, Abhimanyu. Enraged by his son's death, Arjuna vowed to kill Jayadratha before sunset the next day. Dussala's life was shattered when Arjuna fulfilled his vow, decapitating Jayadratha in battle. After Jayadratha's death, Dussala became a widow and was left to rule the kingdom of Sindhu by herself, a daunting task in the aftermath of the war. Despite her grief, she showed great strength by continuing to lead her people with wisdom and compassion, even though her heart was heavy with sorrow from the deaths of her husband and brothers. After the Kurukshetra war, Dussala remained in Sindhu, isolated from her extended family in Hastinapura. Her life took a significant turn when years later the Pandavas launched a military campaign to subdue various kingdoms, including Sindhu, to expand their empire. During this campaign, the Pandavas attacked Sindhu, not knowing that it was ruled by Dussala and her son. When the Pandavas learned that their own cousin Dussala was the ruler of the kingdom, they halted the attack. Arjuna, in particular, was moved by the plight of his cousin, who had already suffered so much loss. Dussala, with a heart full of grief and sorrow, met with her cousins, asking for their forgiveness for the enmity that had existed between their families. She revealed how difficult her life had been after the deaths of Jayadratha and her brothers, and sought peace between the Pandavas and the Sindhu kingdom. Yudhishthira, the eldest Pandava, full of compassion for Dussala, assured her that no harm would come to her or her kingdom. He recognized that Dussala had suffered enough and had nothing to do with the hostilities of the past. The Pandavas, moved by her grace and dignity, forgave her and allowed her son to continue ruling Sindhu without any threat of conflict. Dussala's story is one of endurance and survival in a world torn apart by war and family conflict. While her brothers were consumed by the thirst for power and her husband was driven by ambition, Dussala remained a figure of quiet strength and compassion. She outlived the great war that claimed almost all of her family. And through her wisdom and leadership, she managed to maintain peace in Sindhu.